So yeah, in the previous video we got the CNN architecture overview. Let's now zoom into the convolutional layers. So in this video we are going to take a look at the convolutional layers in more detail. So when we apply a convolutional layer to an input image, we create these so-called feature maps. So what is a feature map and how does this process work? So consider we have this grayscale image of the handwritten digit 5 here. Also let me overlay this with a little grid here so we can more easily see what's going on. So here we are going to use a 3x3 feature detector. And what we do with this feature detector is that we apply it to this input image. So position by position, we slide this feature detector over the image to obtain the feature map values. So once we completed moving it over the row here, we move it down by one position and repeat the same thing. And we do this until we have all the different values computed in this feature map here. So for example, if we apply this 3x3 filter or feature detector to this input image on the left-hand side, the feature map may look like as follows here, as shown here in the lower right. So what is actually happening during this operation, which by the way is called convolution? So this operation is essentially very similar to a dot product. We have different weights, different feature input values, and a bias unit. And yeah, like before, we compute the weighted sum and add this bias unit to it. So in this case, if we have a 3x3 feature detector, we have a weight matrix consisting of 3x3 weights. So if we would flatten this weight matrix and we would flatten this input feature matrix at each point, it would be essentially the same thing as computing the dot product between two vectors. And then of course adding the bias unit to it. So notice as we are sliding this feature detector over the image, at each position we have obviously different input feature values. However, we keep reusing the same weight matrix at each position. So the weights here, they do not differ. And this concept, since we are using the same weights at each position, is called weight sharing. So we are sharing the same set of weights across the different positions in the image. The rationale behind this weight sharing is that a feature detector that works well in one region of the image may also work well in a different region of the image. And what's really nice about this weight sharing is that it reduces the complexity. So when we have a convolutional neural network, we have way fewer parameters compared to a multilayer perceptron. So let's recap the concept of a convolutional network by stepping through it using a bit of PyTorch code. So here we instantiate a convolutional layer with one input channel and one output channel. We will talk about channels later, so don't worry about it now. So the key here is that we use a kernel size of 3. So the kernel size corresponds to the feature detector size. So if we initialize a convolutional layer like that, we have then a weight matrix consisting of 3x3 weights. So the weights are corresponding then to our 3x3 feature detector. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we also have a bias unit. But yeah, of course, the 3x3 feature detector size was just for illustration purposes, and we are of course free to choose different sizes for the kernels. So far, we only looked at one input channel and one output channel. However, what about these other input and output channels that we can see here in the CNN architecture? So in the next video, we will learn about using convolutions with multiple channels.